You are live. Yes, you are live.
Basically, she does this all week round. She only stops when we start doing this. So, a big hello to you all. It's
my goodness, straight up Peter. Oh my
Peter,
goodness.
You did not have to do that. That is incredibly generous of you. Oh my word. Peter Carson says, hi, Jen and Zoe. Let's have a good one. Well, thank you very much. We shall try not to disappoint. We're still a little bit shell-shocked at the moment. Oh, sorry.
Jenny's on a delay.
We've been on a massive road trip, so we only got back a couple of hours ago. But that is incredibly generous of you, Peter Carson.
Yeah. When she says a massive road trip, what she actually means is she fell over in the street.
Yeah, I tripped in the road. So we've got Haven Rail, Ham Shackleton. I love your joke, actually, Ham Shackleton. We were reading that just before we went live. It helped put up a new electric fence on our model flying field yesterday. Graham said it wasn't working until he grabbed hold of it. Russell Benton, how do? Are we on yet? Stop it! She doesn't know when to stop.
I do. I just choose not to.
Melchester Model Railway, hi to you. Josh's Train Room. Ham Shackleton, if the broadband doesn't crash again, mine has been playing up for a few evenings now. Virgin, not so high speed. I'm a bit worried.
Oh, I know the feeling.
That's what we're on as well.
Well, not just that, but when I'm trying to play my nerd games on the Intertron, it keeps stopping me.
Bang got you, Junction. Carl Braun said hi all, hope you're all well. Minnie West Aston Junction, McBenman 1, Sunshine the Tug, Leslie Gilpin, Jammy Dodger the Gamer. Oh, that's one of your crowd. Oh, and Patrick Ling, actually, he's one of your crowd as well, isn't he?
No, you're thinking of Patrick Furlong.
Oh, am I? Oh,
yes.
Sorry, Patrick, I'm getting you confused with the other Patrick.
Many Patricks.
Network Noobs, hello to you. Haven Rail, Melchester Mother Railway, Mark Wilson, New Mills Mother Railway, Southern Train Girl, Rachel Houston, Mahir Monis, Leslie Gilpin, Minnie Wistaston, I've already name checked you. Dave Arama's Models, hi to you. Andrew Cummins, 15th Street Yard. Gosh, we've got loads of people coming in. George says, hi, you two reprobates. It's got our number, hasn't he?
I resemble that comment.
Yeah, Shanghai 264359, 37305 Northern Princess. Ronald Morritt, Paul Hinder, J94 says, hi all, I'm back.
Hi, back.
Okay, from now on, you're back.
Guess who's back?
Yeah.
Back again.
Simon Trains MRS, good evening. Loving seeing the Deltic this evening. Yes, we've got the National Railway Museum.
Yeah, you've got a nice one there.
Prototype Deltic, which is the Bachmann model. Really, I love that model.
I love the colour.
Yeah, the colour. It's a French blue, I think it is officially. Matt Ovell, big hi to you. Aiden's Railways, Robert Ward into and Vobert Becking. We have got Network Noobs. Yes, I knew it was either Max or Zach. So yes, a big hello to you as well. Yes, loads of people saying hello. Jay, Smallwood Junction, Lifestyle Unleashed, Trains in the Garage, Phil Parsons, SJ Carter. It's great to see you all. And tonight, there's been a lot of announcements actually over the last week, and some seem to have trumped each other. Pretty much the Hornby one. We're going to come to that. But also, I've been made aware of some odious trolls going around. Not just thinking it's really clever to troll me. You know, I'm a big girl, I can cope with that. But also, just generally being mean and snidey towards other modelers. I've seen derogatory comments on Facebook groups.
They've basically been targeting everyone who's trying to make nice videos.
Basically, anybody who's doing really well. They don't seem to like other people's success. So I'm not going to name them, but in a completely unrelated note, I'm thinking of changing the LP that I have on my wall. Over there we have a Katy Perry, One of the Boys LP at the moment. Now I was thinking about Animals by Pink Floyd.
That would be a good one.
Because it has a railway connection. But I was just thinking about this one. So anyway, but as we were saying about the odious troll, it's not big and it's not clever. I know he's been bothering a few other people, but there we go.
So we're just going to put a message out. Look,
Yeah,
if this person turns up on yours, it's actually a sign that you're doing well and he's jealous.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. You haven't arrived until you've had a few little trolls under their bridge. But I'm thinking of changing the LP. I keep meaning to. I've got one of these kind of case things that you can put an LP sleeve in. This is actually a genuine vinyl LP. But I was thinking...
You're not going to put the LP in there,
No,
right?
you don't put the LP in because it does get quite warm. So
this is a solo album, isn't it? It's not what I've actually heard.
People think of Dave Gilmour as being in Pink Floyd.
But he did a few solo albums.
Just something unusual.
I know that... What's his name? Radio Chaos and all that.
Roger Waters.
He did a fair few solo albums as well.
He did too, actually. Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking and Radio Chaos.
I thought he'd done more. Did any of the other Pink Floyd alumni do any solo projects? Syd Barrett did.
Syd Barrett did, but I don't think the other two did.
My goodness.
Big hello to James Petts and Lapping Road. Shout out to Lapping Road, please. Boom! You have it. Big shout out to Lapping Road.
Hello.
Mark Jenkins says, I love your 00 gauge. Thank you very much. Garthian, I just ignore trolls. They're just jealous of all of us having a decent hobby. Exactly. It's the green-eyed monster.
Which is different to the green finger.
Not the green finger of death, but no, the green-eyed monster. Basically, it's like the crab bucket. I was explaining this to somebody else.
Someone else who was getting trolled by
Yeah, their channel was getting a lot of trolling comments. And people think we don't talk to each other. I know that there was this weird thing where people assumed that there was sort of like this East Coast rapper, West Coast rapper thing going on between me and Sam Strange. It's not the case, but actually...
Actually, you talk to him a fair amount, don't you?
I do, actually, yes. I was talking to him as well, and we came to the conclusion that it's jealousy. When people get successful, there's a certain kind of person who can't bear to see somebody who is not them get successful.
And it's a silly thing, really, because this YouTube isn't a zero-sum game.
James Moody says the green finger has just got too many bogeys on it. I know, she keeps shoving it in my nose. It's horrible.
Here's the thing, like I was saying, YouTube is not a zero-sum game. One person getting success doesn't mean another person can't have success.
Yeah.
One doesn't take away from the other. You can all be successful. You can all build each other up. It doesn't have to be one person on top and keeping everyone else down. Actually, we're all in this for the same thing. You all like models. We all like sharing videos.
Yeah.
So where's the problem?
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew this. Garthian says Duffy has done a few songs to do with railways. She used to volunteer for the Festiniog Railway, where I met her before she became famous. I honestly didn't know that.
That's quite a before they were famous thing. We'll have to look up some Duffy.
Didn't she? She got a lot of famous singers, especially women, get trolled by these toxic individuals.
Oh yeah.
But we're not going to name the troll because I think that it's just it's a bit mean. But this was the album that I was thinking about. But maybe I should get a Duffy album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure Duffy's got some stories about trolls.
Which has a bit of a different look to it, because that's a bit...
It's not railway related in the slightest.
I thought it was a railway shed, but it's not, is it? It's a normal shed.
Yeah, but Christopher McDonald says, I like your style, Jenny. Name and shame the trolls.
No.
I am not naming and shaming the trolls. It's just...
They want their names out there. They want the attention.
Yeah. So there we go. Right,
I honestly thought... The reason that... I honestly thought this was part of a railway shed, and the train was going to come out of there, but it's not. It's just a normal shed.
Actually, I'm looking at the no, there's nothing on there relating to railways. Strange that. Right, Tim Cundrup says, "Are you watching fan video today?" Fan video.
A video about fans.
I might make a video about my fan at some point.
It's a big fan.
It's a very loyal fan. It's always blowing air in my direction. But hey, big hello to FMR Station House, Wardle Road, Anfield Road Layout in the Loft. Big hello to you. And my thumb keeps pressing the wrong button. Anyway, Moreland Model Railway Andy. A big hello to you. Huey's Train Layout. Good evening. Garthian, the Rock Ferry album cover was taken in Festinio Carriage 17. So I'm learning stuff every day. Now, I knew of Duffy, but not really. I think, what's it? Is it Mercy? It's probably about the only track I can think of.
To be honest with you, when you mentioned Duffy, I thought it was Duff McKagan there saying Guns N' Roses. I'm thinking, when did he do a heavy metal album about trains?
Wardle Road says, Jenny, hope you don't plan on advertising your Patreon tonight. Well, as you mention it...
We've actually had to take off the overlays this week because I didn't have time to change the sponsor.
Yeah, we're the overlays, because it turns out that Microsoft Paint, which is what you get when you don't install a software to manipulate graphics on your computer, just messes things up. So that's why the overlays are gone. So I'm really glad that you reminded me, Wardle Road. If anybody wants to support the channel, you can find me over on Patreon, and you can pledge from $1 through to as much as you want, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's every single person who does take part in the Patreon, very much appreciated, but don't ever feel obliged to. At the end of the day, we always say it's there if you want to, if you can, and you're happy doing that. Never feel obliged to.
Because normally I do the overlays and things as needed on Photoshop where I'm doing other work. But unfortunately, we kind of ran out of time due to the road trip.
We came back off the road trip. The Volvo, by the way, is performing incredibly well, considering it's been off the road for 3 months.
Basically, we launched out of the car John Woo style and then raced up here to start the live stream.
Can I read some people's comments because they're coming in so fast? Eugene Bien, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm suspecting I'm crucifying your name, but really sorry about that. So sadly, trolls are just very sad people. Yes, it's just jealousy. It's a toxic jealousy, and to be honest, any community that is plagued by trolls would be much better off without them. And luckily, at the moment, I guess the trolls' true colours are showing through. A lot of people have got wise to who they are. But anyway, Ronald Morritt.
Do you need me anymore? Because if you don't, I'm going downstairs to rest my very badly damaged knee.
You can go and rest your knee. Do we have any Snackington P snacky foods?
What would you like?
What have we got?
Nothing. I'll go and get you something.
Nothing. And you can have a rummage in my work bag down in the kitchen. There might be a chocolate mini roll in there.
You were wanting Quality Street, weren't you?
No, I've gone off that idea.
You were wanting Quality Street.
No, I don't.
I'm wanting Quality Street. Would you like some Quality Street?
I don't. What's that, Dave? Dave doesn't want Quality Street.
That's because he's an album cover.
And that's because he's stuck about 45 years in the past.
He definitely wants some Quality Street. Look at him, he's thin. He needs fattening up.
Actually, no, this album is a year older than me. It's what happens when you inherit your parents' album collection. Ronald Morritt, what are those two shunters in the layer above the square you were in? Going back to that view, we've crammed between getting back off the road trip, and I believe you're talking about these. They're Class 7 shunters from Helgen.
And before she says anything, I didn't break one.
Well, it's not broken anymore because I repaired it. It's amazing what you can do with a pair of pliers, tweezers, a lot of patience and super glue. But I've just filmed a review of the one in front. It's I'm not sure that we've seen it on the Monday Club, to be honest. I know the other one has been seen running around, but they are sat here because I still need to film the B-roll footage. So look out for that coming on Wednesday, which is a review of the Helgen V2 version of the Class 7 Shunter. So that's going to be going out on Wednesday. Right, anyway, I did build this as being lots and lots of amazing new announcements, so I should get round to that. So, Paul Higgins, I'm going to try and get some of the comments done. Let's have a look. Bakersard Junction, I know that your comment got hidden by the moderators because we do have a lot of younger children there, but what you've said is absolutely true, but just bear in mind that there's some quite young children. I know that my little nephew is in, and he's... I can't remember how old you are, Max. You're... I'm going to say 8? 9? 9? Oh, that's really bad. I'm the auntie who doesn't actually know. I don't know how old you are. Christopher James says, who are the trolls? As we said before, we're not going to name them. I think most people know who they are. Yeah, it's just one of those things. But it does remind me that I'm thinking of changing the album cover on my wall. The cupboard monkey keeps distracting me. So this was the one I was thinking of picking. And maybe I'll change that out after the stream. Anyway, let's meanwhile, back at the ranch. Simon Trains MRS. If someone trolls my comments, I just reply with a sarcastic comment. Boom! That's the way to do it, actually. Just fight them. You know, really scathing and cutting, sharp comments. And this is something that the English language does really, really well. Where you can insult somebody, really insult them, and they know they're being insulted, but there is not one word that they can complain about. And that's what I love about the English language. Wardle Road says, Cottesmore is the troll. No, he isn't. Steve the Sweep, hi to you. Timber Surf, excellent to see you. Haven Rail, loving the Deltic. The Deltic is always really, really popular. And it's one of the things, actually, the Accurascale production Deltic coming later in the year. Really looking forward to that one. And I know that Accurascale have tentatively promised that I can review one as the production models do arrive. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. Because whereas the prototype Deltic is a locomotive from Bachmann that I absolutely adore. I think, you know, it just looks right. It's perfect. There's not really anything to fault about it. The actual production Deltic that they did, I can't put my finger on it, but there's just something about it that just doesn't feel right. And I know that Bachmann have, in defence of it, said, look, you know, we laser scanned it. It matches to the actual works drawings, but I don't know what it is about the Bachmann production Deltic. So it'll be very interesting to compare the Accurascale one to the old Bachmann. And you know, you've got to remember, like, yeah, the Bachmann one's pushing 20 years old now, and a lot has moved on since then. But you know, it will be an interesting comparison. Tim Condra says, I mean, your fan layout video that sent you. Yeah, well, hopefully we're going to get a chance to do some of the videos that people have sent links to. Zoe at zoerobinson.com. And that's Zoe spelt the European way, which is just Z-O-E. Don't add a Y on. That's an American spelling, so it won't get through. And you would just want the URL. We don't send it as an attachment because it won't get through. It'll just crash the Cupboard Monkey's email system. Right. Yeah, Anfield Road layout in the loft. How to send links in on my videos. That's how you do it. Send the URL link to Zoe at zoerobinson.com. Dave Smith says, trolls having nothing better to do. Yeah, absolutely right. Don't they have an actual real job and pastime to go to? Maybe it's their hobby. I guess a lot of trolls are just jealous of other people's talents. I've seen trolls leaving some actually really nasty comments about other people's modelling in some of the Facebook groups. I've seen some of them actually just get banned for it, which is what they deserve. But it's just not on belittling other people's efforts. At the end of the day, not everybody can model photorealistic. I can't. There's many different things. And, we all start from somewhere, and you've got to see the good in everything. And if you just go, oh, that's rubbish, oh, that doesn't look real, basically, you're just a colossal and utter, I'm trying to think of a word that has the sense of a swear word and a really rude word, but isn't a rude word, but you know what I mean. It's just like nastiness. And these are the kind of people, it's like, it's like little boy behind a big keyboard. If you actually met them in person, they'd be too chicken to walk up to your face and say anything. It's this sort of bravado that the perceived anonymity of the internet gives them. But I used to be an investigative journalist. I used to track things like drug smuggling, arms smuggling across borders. I used to chart ownership of aeroplanes being used, and it's not difficult to find out who the trolls really are on the internet. So yeah, we know who they really are. Right, anyway. Andrew Davis says, have considered standalone aircon unit in my loft. One thing I will say to you about that, you still need to vent the hot air outside of the loft. The reason is, if you just have an air conditioning unit churning away, it will do no more than be a fan. In fact, it will actually act as a heat engine. It will transfer the energy, the waste energy from it doing its thing, into heat in the room. You need to be able to vent the hot air outside, which is why when you see air conditioning on buildings, the fans and the heat exchanger are on the outside of the building. And what they're actually doing is they're taking the heat from inside the building and releasing it into the atmosphere. So if you do have an air conditioning unit to cool your loft down, do think about where the air is going to vent. Right, Tony Wright, hi to you. Swindon69, how to you? Leslie Gilpin says, watch for a troll called Colin Robinson, brackets obscure TV reference. I am not familiar with that one, but I'll look that one up after the stream, actually. Kelly Ashford, hi Jenny, I'm here on my 38th birthday. Oh my word. So happy birthday to you, Kelly. I hope you're having a great day. And have you had cake, jelly and ice cream and those things that you blow into and they go which is also funny enough, sounded ever so slightly different. That's also my trombone impression. Right, Network Noobs 9. Right, Max is 9. I'm really excited about it. I was trying to remember how old you are. Now, as your grandma and granddad will tell you, your Auntie Jenny is rubbish at remembering dates. Auntie Jenny has Auntie Zoe to remember dates for. To be honest with you, your grandma will tell you about how Auntie Jenny forgets her own birthday as well. So one of those things. McBenman1, I wish everybody could just support each other and then the world would be a better place. Definitely, amen to that. And as Waldo said, well said McBenman1, definitely. Christopher McDonald says, just remind me of that album again, keep missing it. This is the album, completely unrelated to anything we've been talking about, honest. This is the album that I was thinking of putting on the wall, because over here, I'm just suddenly mindful that actually no, it's easier if let's get the roaming cam up and running. Oops, see daisies. So let me just plug this in and then I can actually show you where I'm planning on putting that album. There we go. So, I think that's the right way up. Over there, as you can see, I've got a thing in there. That is actually an album cover. A proper double LP. Yes, I'm not a hipster. I was buying them before it was cool. But I'm thinking of switching that out for this album. So that's the album I had in mind there, and yes, that particular Dave Gilmour used to be in. Actually, well, I think technically, let me just change the camera angle. Technically, I think he still is in Pink. Pink Floyd never disbanded; they kind of just stopped recording. Anyway, right, Garthian, or just ignore the trolls; they get bored easily. Gamehammer Classic Gaming says, Jenny, when you see this in about half an hour because you're behind on the comments, I've popped out to get you nibbles. Oh, score. Right, anyway. James Pett, interesting. My father worked on the prototype Deltic when he was an apprentice. Oh, my word. That's interesting, actually. So, I presume we worked was it? No, it was built at the Dick Care Works, was it? In Preston, or was Deltic built in Loughborough? No, I think it's built in Preston, actually, the Dick Care Works. Right, anyway, Clive Cobbold, we will get to the topic eventually. So, Clive Cobbold, thank you very much for hauling us back on topic. Class 45s from Helgen. He asks, will I be getting one? Actually, I'm really interested in getting one, it has to be said. Right. Oh, sorry. I'm just looking at some of the. Right. I'm going to scroll to. Go away, silly thing. Right. I'm going to scroll right down to the. Oh, good God! You lot have been busy. Right. what are we doing? What are we? I'm just curious what you're all actually talking about. West Coast Model Railway says, oh, interesting. Anthony Lee Dickens. Sasha the Potato Woman X. Oh, right. So one of the trolls. Yeah, one of the trolls has made a fake account, I would guess. That's all right. We have moderators for this. Wait a minute, what have you brought up here? West Coast Model Railway says, I get lots of hate at school for doing model railways. The only reason is because I have a different hobby to them. And what you probably find actually is that you
have a hobby and they don't.
Yeah, basically, you've got an actual hobby, and they've just got jealousy of other people's hobby. And it probably wouldn't even matter what the hobby was. They'd just be like,
that person's displaying creativity and independent thought.
Yeah. Oh, your hobby's being successful. Basically, but right. Anyway, no, that didn't come out of my work bag. I know for a fact because I ate most of them. But thank you. Come again. Right. Anyway, yes. So anyway, the Helgen Class 45. I am actually interested. I think I'll have to see one in the flesh first.
The Model 45 is made of flesh.
Yeah, it is. It is, Cupboard Monkey. You believe that. You keep believing that because...
So what are your nibbles of choice this week?
Nibbles of choice this week are M&M's, apparently peanut ones. And the beverage of choice is Diet Coke. Excuse me, but only because I'm absolutely shattered. I've been up since 6:30 this morning.
Why?
Because I woke up and couldn't get back to sleep.
I wasn't awake at 6:30 this morning.
We were away from home. So
the first time in 7 months?
Something like that. Right. Next with Noob says happy birthday. I think that's to Kelly. As I said before, happy birthday to Kelly.
Happy birthday, doop boop.
38 today.
Making me feel old.
Right. The comments come in far faster then I can actually read them. Ben Tullett says, Twitter and Facebook is a rubbish hobby. That's why trolls are jealous. Right. It's funny actually. I happen to know at least one of the trolls is very good at making fake accounts on Facebook and YouTube. So I believe they're in the room, so a big hello to the troll. It's like, oh, did one of the moderators just time you out? Right, anyway.
So what about this news? What about the big news and things instead of trolls?
Yeah, Class 89. I've seen apparently the order book, from what I've heard, is looking good. So the Class 89, it will go ahead. I'll be honest, I'm going to go out on a limb there and say it is definitely going to go ahead. The Class 92, I've seen the EP sample running. Accurascale was sharing a video of that, and actually looks really good and really smooth. And I talked with Fran about this, and it comes as standard with Stay Alive, and that for me, I'm really excited to see this. I think that it's, for too long, I think people have viewed Stay Alive as like, I've got to solder this in, and people are really frightened of damaging things, and they're just like, you know what, we're just going to make it hard attached in the circuit board. It's just there. It is there. And I think that this is like, we're now, it's like when working directional lights came in, it like took the hobby up a step. I feel that factory fitted as standard Stay Alives will take the hobby up another step.
It's this Operation BG.
What?
Stay alive. Stay alive.
These are surprisingly nice.
Hey, it's dinner and a show. What can I say? Hey. Now it's the food channel.
It is a bit. Let's try some different angles. Network Noob says,
hello.
I have to go for my tea, so I'll catch you later, Max. Now you make sure you eat everything up and don't neglect the vegetables. And say hello to your mummy for me.
Hey.
Actually, well, that sounds really... No, but your mummy's my sister.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're not just being weird.
Mm.
Well, you are.
Yeah. Mark Wilson asks, what is a stay alive? Right, a stay alive is basically electrolytic capacitors. And what they do is they act like a temporary battery for the locomotive. So, if it comes to a dirty track, a dead frog, let me just one about the frog on a point, not an actual like ribbit frog. But anywhere where it loses pickup of the power, that stay alive then keeps supplying power that it's.
Try that.
What on earth are these?
Maltese's buttons.
They're like somebody melted a batch of Maltesers and went, oh no. No, we can sell them anyway. People will buy anything.
They were right.
But it keeps the locomotive running, and then when it gets to somewhere where it picks up the power again, keeps going, recharges those capacitors. That's essentially what a stay alive is.
So it's not anything to do with the Bee Gees then.
Mark Holt says, evening all, just checking in so you know it's not me that is the troll. Happy birthday, Kelly. Where are my snacks? Well, they're here. Would you like one? Go on. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Go on. Go on. Well, okay, if you don't want any, I'll... Right. Other news. The Stephenson's rocket turned up. We did the review. That's actually gone down incredibly well. And it was pointed out to me that there is an assembly flaw on my model. It's an easy fix. It's basically a pipe is vertical instead of horizontal. So what I need to do is fix that, and I think it will massively improve the running characteristics. I've also bought finally got hold of a 6-pin wired decoder, which is going to go in there. So I am going to actually get it running, just not right now because I've been away for the weekend, so I haven't had the time to. Oh dear, is one of the trolls is upset everybody with one of their fake accounts. It's excellent actually. I just love the fact that I'm having an effect. Oh, O'Neill says, hey Jenny and Zoe, hope you're well and taking well. Can you fix stay alive to engage your 009 as it would improve my running? If you can find space, yes. Essentially the stay alive hardwires to the DCC decoder. Now it has to be a compatible DCC decoder, and Trainomatic, who are one of the sponsors for the channel, their decoders are all compatible with the Smart Power Pack, so you could just solder them on. The big issue is obviously the smaller your locomotive, it's where you fit those capacitors. Now, I'm just going to, let me just pull these down from up here. These, what's in there is that's actually two Smart Power Packs. So you've got to, let me just take that out, and I'm going to hold it up and show you its relative size. So, let me find something to, what's a good indication of scale? Right, anyway, there's a Rover P6 or a P5. It's quite large. It would struggle to fit inside that car. So that's the relative size. I mean, these are quite powerful ones. These would run a locomotive easily for, I think it's about 4 seconds, even with the lights on. A big heavy locomotive pulling a train. You can get stay alives that run for less time. I know that I think Zen do, they're from DCC Concepts, do some which effectively just give it that little bit of a boost for that momentary interruption. Another option is to, if it's a tender loco, find room in the tender for it, or indeed if you can have it semi-permanently coupled to a van or a coach, maybe put all the electronics in that. Oops. Right, Yeah, Ben Tullett, ah ha ha ha, staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. Fat Wallet Boy 2, hi folks, what have I missed so far? Any big news? Mark Wilson says, is Stay Alive not included in the DCC chip? Now, I believe that the top of the range DCC Concepts Zen chips, I think it's the black label, they have the Stay Alive on the circuit board, but it's the one that gives a momentary boost. But as a rule, generally not because of the size. Other news, anyway, right? I must get through the news because that's what the live stream was billed about. Hornby, yeah, we were talking about the rocket. That's I just rocketed off on a tangent. The third class coach or second class coach, I think technically it's second class, which is the little blue open coach. Actually, it's a model of the replica built by, I think it was the LMS in the 1930s. Or late 1930s, something like that. So it was done ostensibly to go with the rocket set. Now, Rails of Sheffield announced when it was going to be done in exactly the same way. It's the South Eastern and Chatham Railway box fans. We have got some. It's done through 3D printing. And then Hornby announced that they were bringing theirs to the market at less than half the price. And it's actually, I've seen a lot of people praise Rails, some people criticising Rails. But I think they made the best of a bad situation. They genuinely didn't know that Hornby were going to be bringing that out. And they very quickly realised, I think it was within 40 minutes, there was no way that they could compete on the price. And they have said, right, okay, well, you win some, you lose some. So that model is coming out from Hornby. But I've since seen that apparently it's limited to only 1,000 pieces. And it's unclear whether it will be repeated later, like next year or something like that. What I do know is I queried with Montana at Hornby about the Stevenson's rocket pack, and apparently they are not ever going to be re-released. That is the plan. So what you see here and the Triang Special Edition one, what you see is what you get when they're gone. They really are gone. What I'm not clear on is whether the rocket and or the coaches will appear packaged differently. So either buy the coaches separately, buy the rocket separately, or have a different pack maybe with different mix of coaches. I don't know. But what I do know is that the packs as have been released, when they're gone for good. There is also a lot of talk about, I've heard a lot of people speculating about Lion being a locomotive that maybe should appear next, and nobody's ruling it out. Nobody's poo-pooed it. A lot of people have sort of nodded thoughtfully. When I say people, I mean people from manufacturers, and they've pretty much all gone, yes, there seems to be a lot of interest. This is certainly an area that we should be looking into. Sort of a thing. I did it all via email, so I didn't see them winking. But if you read between the lines, you could see him sat there going, something like that. Anyway, other news: the Helgen.
What kind of impression was that?
A bad one. Helgen have also announced they are doing a new rerun of the O-Gauge Class 50s. Now, these were very, very popular last time that they were out. They sold out relatively quickly, especially some of the more popular liveries. So they've essentially listened to the fan base who've been saying, when are you going to bring out some more? When are you going to bring out some more? And on Friday, they announced that they were indeed going to bring out some more. So they've been announced. I did share a short video, so that is on my channel. You can go and have a look at the full details and some of the livery pictures. I'm really impressed. The one that always like makes me go, oh, must have the shiny, is the Network Southeast liveried one. But there's also some, I think it's 2, possibly 3, maybe 2 special commissions by, can't remember the name of the shop that is commissioning, but there's also some special commissions in there as well. So they look really, really exciting. So I think a lot of people's bank accounts are going to take an absolute pounding. Right, so Ben Tollett, I'm just quickly glancing at the comments. I am aware that I'm missing so much here. Ben Tullett, everyone smash the like button. Yes, definitely. Don't forget to click the like button and share the stream too. Let everybody know that the stream is online and that everybody is more than welcome. We are inclusive of everybody. We don't make snide comments like the trolls do. Everybody is welcome, and it's a great place in the community for everybody to hang out. So the more people you tell, the greater it is. So do share the stream, and if you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. And also you can check us out on Patreon, because it just helps us to be able to make the videos that you know and love. Right. Dapol as well have also made some announcements. So N-Gage modelers, you are now well catered for, because one of the announcements from Dapol has been the DVT in a number of different liveries. So do check out the Facebook page. I've put up some information on that as well.
What does DVT stand for?
Driving Vehicle Trailer.
Right.
I think DVT, Driving Vehicle Trailer. I think. Essentially, it's not a locomotive, but you can drive the train from the other end. Right. Naive Gage says, was that a snide comment about the trolls? You may think that. I couldn't possibly comment.
Jenny making snide comments about trolls? That would never happen.
No. Right. There was another announcement from Dapol, but off the top of my head, it's just gone blank. That was the one. That
your head, the top of your head does look a bit blank.
What else?
Driving van trailer, according to West Coast Model Railway.
Driving van trailer. That sounds right. Yes. I will defer to the more knowledgeable person in the chat.
Yeah, she wondered when someone would point that out.
Oh yes, yes. Yes. So yes, I wanted to see who'd be first to point that out.
Where did Dapol make this announcement?
Dapol emailed me a press release and said I could share it. I believe that they've also shared it on their page. I'm not making that mistake of accidentally blowing an embargo. That was a pure accident, by the way. I know that somebody tried to grass me up, but luckily they were very understanding that it had been done entirely accidentally, and by the time somebody tried to grass me up, I'd already removed the details, which we didn't realise were live, but were.
Yeah, that was actually me rather than Jenny. The problem is YouTube has a tendency to test different versions of their interface without telling you that you're one of the test people. So anything that was scheduled as a premiere coming up, I couldn't see the information in the description box, so I thought no one could. Turns out I was one of the test interface people. So sorry about that. So, where would you like me to find this Dapol information?
It was on the Facebook page. I know he didn't email. Actually, no, I think he did email it to me. Did he? Or no, he sent it to me through Messenger, so you won't get it. Just on my Facebook page.
I will get the Facebook page up for you. Then.
Okay, you do that. Let's have a look.
You know, she's terrible to work with, guys. So demanding, so demanding. Mini rolls.
Aaron Izzard says, hello, Miss Jenny. Good to find you on stream. Just made it back home to Gib, being marooned in Spain. Gibraltar, right, yes. I'm glad you're home, actually. Leslie Gilpin says, the problem with Lion as it was rebuilt in the 1930s, the LMS made the firebox cover incorrect. It didn't apparently have a big copper-covered firebox. Interesting, I didn't know that. McBenman1 says, hi Jenny, does Train-O-Matic make products for O and Z scale trains? Yes, they do. Their standard decoders, as far as I'm aware, are actually rated for enough ampage to... that was the other thing, yes. Posted on the Facebook page, yeah. They did... the 21 pin, I believe, is rated to be able to power an O-gauge model. Certainly, I have used them in O-gauge models without any problems, and in Z-gauge, the standard, as long as they will fit in and they are made to NMRA standards, then they are absolutely fine for Z-gauge models. If you're using the, I know that there's some that work on a 3-volt system, then Train-O-Matic do sell a couple of decoders where they're preset to work on the 3 volts so that they've got the correct speed response. Apparently, if you put them in an ordinary locomotive, it just means that the ordinary regular locomotive will just trundle along very slowly at top speed. But they are set up for some of the, I think it's Z gauge, where the locomotive will only draw 3 volts. Right, yes, Cottesmore. That's absolutely right. KMS Railtech have the GB Rail Freight 50s on special order to them. They have 25 of each. Is that all? 25? But also have a double pack price for both. Another 25 of the pair. Right, okay, no worries. Right. Paul Gorton says, will the Stay Alive work with a feedback controller? Stay Alive only works on DCC. As far as I'm aware, they will do absolutely nothing on DC. And be advised that certain... Oh, that's skidding a bit. I think we're starting to lose traction over here. I'm going to have to clean the track. If you have a high frequency track cleaner, it will microwave, well, it will just nuke your DCC decoders. If you try and run a DCC fitted locomotive on a DC layout, you can set them up so that the DCC decoder will run on DC, but if that layout has a high frequency track cleaner unit, then that will just kill the decoder. I don't know about feedback controllers. I would suggest you do some research on that, otherwise it may just blow the electronics. Right.
You posted a fair bit of announcements actually. Would you like to go through them with the laptop here?
I'm just having a look. Big hello to Donegal there. Gary Lewis, hi Jenny, the rocket I got, the 6-pin socket, it's floating in the barrel and could fit the Hornby 6-pin decoder I ordered. Oh, couldn't fit. Now order Bachmann 90-degree 6-pin decoder. Will that hopefully fit? I haven't tried it with that. I don't think it will. I'm really sorry. As far as I'm aware, the Trainomatic wired 6-pin decoder will fit. I am going to be test fitting later on one of those very same decoders to it, but I have heard somebody did say to me that they had got the Hornby 6-pin decoder to fit in there. After all, that is what it's designed to take. So I'd try again with your Hornby 6-pin decoder, and just you need very careful placing of the wire loom. And from what I remember him saying, the actual decoder itself needs to sit on top with the wire somehow tucked in so that you can close the barrel.
It's not the best design, but given the size of the rocket for the scale, I honestly think there wasn't much chance of them getting any bigger.
The Growler Blackwood N-Gauge layout. Dapol are also re-releasing the N-Gauge Class 156 in Strathclyde orange and black livery. Yeah, there's a lot of re-liveries coming through. Dapol have announced some of the Class 142s, including the one in the livery for its very short-lived turn down in the Devon and Cornwall region. I think it was only down there for something like 6 months, but it was painted in chocolate and cream. But apparently the Nodding Donkey did not like the very tight curves.
Wouldn't that go off?
What?
Chocolate and cream.
Oh, is that a tumbleweed? Yep.
Hey, I'm here all week whether you want me or not.
Unfortunately, that's absolutely true. Right. Paul Higgins says, do you know of any toy and train fairs yet, or is it early days yet? I don't know of any. I have to say, my gut feeling is that a lot of the big shows are going to be cancelled because of issues with insurance, issues with the number of people passing through, making it commercially viable. You'll also probably find that a lot of traders and layouts may also have their own worries. I know that Wally is officially cancelled this year. It's coming back next year. Ali Pally decided in the end not to. Really sorry about that huge noise you just heard. It's just the cupboard monkey knocking the mic stand.
To be honest with you, given the age of a lot of people and the fact that they would have to be in very close quarters to operate some of these models, I really can't blame a lot of the exhibitions from saying, look, we just can't do it.
And I think what we're going to find is that 2020 will just be written off.
Safety has to come first.
And I think it'd be an issue with insurance, an issue with restrictions on like how to set out the venue. I think it's a headache that a lot of clubs will go, you know what, let's just wait till next year. So there is a big theory that Alexandra Palace next year is going to be effectively the first of the big shows. Ben Tullett says, Simon Kohler pointed out his furloughed designers have been very busy doing new ideas. Apparently they've done more than when they worked in the office. I didn't think furloughed workers were supposed to actually be working for that company. Wardle Rose says, spammers are out in full force tonight. Spammers versus spanners. Yeah, I think it's because basically the spammers didn't like me saying I was going to change the album that goes on the wall. So I've got an album in a sleeve, and essentially they didn't like the artist's name for some reason because they all came en masse. So I think it's like, yeah, I think we're hitting a nerve, aren't we? Right, anyway. Flymer Chairman 1 says, put the light on. What's that? There's a light on. Yeah, I think the light's on. Right, anyway. Let's go for that angle. Right. I think I'm probably well behind on the comments. David Scott says, being DC only, can you fit Stay Alive to DC locos? That's an interesting question, actually. I've wondered about that. Theoretically, you should be able to come up with a way of doing it, but it would not be the commercially available Stay Alives. It would actually be, I'd have to, I mean, you're talking about, this is dredging up electronics that I haven't done since I was in secondary school. So, I'm going to say yes, it can be done, but you'd have to really research the electronics, and it's not just an off-the-shelf thing. Mark Wilson says the prototype Delta looks awesome. It does, actually. It is one of my favourite locomotives, it has to be said. Flymo Chairman 1 says, yep, bash that like button or thumb, folks. Absolutely. Naive Gauge says, asking again, does anyone have any experience in using reed switches, Hall effect sensors, or light gates to provide feedback for a DCC layout? I know it can be done. I've personally never tried it, it must be said. Tim Condrup says, I wish you can put your hand on the screen and take the chocolate. I'll try and squeeze some down the phone line. Hold on a moment. Let me just... oh, get in there! Get in there! Oh! It won't fit in the cable. Mark Wilson says, how many rockets were built and how quickly were they superseded? Well, there was only one rocket, but a number, something like 4, were done to a modified design. So, kind of an iteration on the rocket. The rocket itself was rebuilt. They didn't last massively long. I think she was only used on the Liverpool and Manchester for a few years before she was then sold on to another railway and wasn't actually suited for hauling freight wagons. And I guess she survived, even though it's rebuilt from. If you've ever been to the National Railway Museum, the oldie worldy locomotive that you look at and you think, well, that's not rocket, is the rocket. The ones that you see, the one that Hornby have modelled, is effectively the replica, which is what theoretically the rocket looked like when new. Leslie Gilpin, they called spacers skippers in Cornwall. Yeah, I can imagine. I remember going on a class 142 on the Walkden line. It's all jointed track and it's not particularly well maintained. Certainly wasn't at the time. And it's the one and only time I've actually seen the ticket collector bang his head on the roof. It made quite a loud bang. He then retreated to the rear cab, clutching his head, muttering things, slammed the door, and we never saw him again. He just basically was like, "No, I'm not bothering to get out." Haven Rail says, going to the Lincolnshire Wolds in August, any recommendations for vintage rail venues? Lincolnshire Wolds Railway. There's also a trolleybus museum at, what's the name of the place? Sort of near Scunthorpe. There's the Appleby Frodingham Railway at Scunthorpe. What else is in that area? I can't think of anything else in that specific area, but I'm sure there'll be others. Right. Andy 1962 says the Hornby 6-pin will fit rocket, but it heats up very quickly in the barrel. My decoder overheated after 5 minutes running and blew. That sounds like you might have had a faulty chip, actually. That does seem to be a little bit... Yeah. But I know what you mean. Sometimes I've had chips that have overheated and blown. Well, one in particular. And I believe it to have been a faulty chip. Sometimes it happens. These things are mass-produced. Occasionally one doesn't perform as intended. But yes, you're not the only person I've heard about having that problem, though. And I believe that there is definitely a heat dissipation issue with the rocket. Kelly Ashford says 2 steamies running is better than none. Definitely. We have the London and North Western Railway web coal tank in British Rail Early Crest delivery as I think it's number 5800, something like that. Or is it 58000? And then we also still have, I think it's Stowe, number 903 in Southern Olive Green, schools class, trundling around. I think the schools class was actually going around last week. I haven't really changed much. What number is it? No, 58900 is the coal tank. Then we've also got the Dapol, class 29, in the really brilliant two-tone green livery. It's one of my favourite locomotives that's come out this year. And certainly we've been spoilt for choice despite lockdown. But the class 29, you'll see it in the, coming around here. So you see it there. I just love that livery. Now I'm normally a BR blue kind of girl. But that two-tone green, I think, really does suit locomotives. So class 55's got it, the 29's got it. The 25's got it. I think at least 124 got it as well. I'm trying to think of other locomotives that got that sort of lime green on top and dark green at the bottom. I'm sure somebody will tell me what other locomotives got that kind of two-tone green. Chris McKinney says, I managed to get the Hornby 6-pin decoder in my rocket. One thing to watch is the wires between loco and tender. Yes, and that's one of the things that I did highlight in my review. Why, oh why couldn't that tender drawbar be screwed in at both ends to save those wires from being snagged? Because they are very, very thin, and I wouldn't want to try and resolder those. John A. Dawson, I think someone has already done a YouTube video on the Hornby rocket and how to fit a DCC decoder in it. Just trying to remember who did the YouTube video on it. Me! West Coast Model Railway. Do you really think models really cost as much to produce as we actually pay for them? Well, no, the company's making some profit. At the end of the day, they're not a charity. What you've got to remember is it's not the actual price of the materials. The actual, that is worth in terms of the plastic and the metal that goes into that is actually not very much. The money is actually going on paying for the individuals to assemble it, but also the R&D. There's a lot of money goes into the R&D. The tooling for one of those alone, you're looking, you're going to have, we're talking six-figure sums, so like probably about $250,000 just to make the tools to start production. So that's a lot of money. You've got to pay the designers, the CAD work, all that kind of thing. You've got your overheads, shipping. Most of the cost of a model is not the materials it's made out of, it has to be said. Mike and Sue Putnam Junction says, how about some form of virtual model show? Now, if you haven't already seen it, BRM has been doing a virtual model show over the weekend. I'm glad you've mentioned were asked about that, because I actually did a video in there. I was down to do an interview, rather. I was down to do an interview at Alexandra Palace. Alexandra Palace, obviously one of the first casualties of the lockdown. And when BRM's done the virtual model railway exhibition, they've got all the people who were going to be doing interviews at Alexandra Palace, and they've done the interviews with us. You all right, cupboard monkey?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Trying to find some ibuprofen for my knee.
Oh, cupboard monkey's got a bad knee. So yeah, do check that out. There's a lot of videos. There's some great layouts. Laurie Calvert, who you may recognise, the steampunk themed layouts. I know one of his layouts is on there. I'm not sure whether it is a steampunk themed layout that is on there. I don't know. I literally haven't had time to look at anything. But that is out there, and we're also, at the end of this stream, we're hopefully going to fit in a couple of videos of you guys have sent in to Zoe at zoerobinson.com. Send the URL to your own video on YouTube, not the video as an attachment, because it will break the internet. Right. Ham Shackleton says, my son, who has no interest in railways other than transport to work, calls pacers the boingies. Round here we call them nodding donkeys, but I don't know whether they've got an official nickname.
Who got an official nickname?
DL Warren says the Newcastle Model Railway Show has just been cancelled this morning. And yeah, I think we're still going to keep getting cancellations, so a lot of people have been hanging on, but the problem is that you have to put a lot of money in up front to organise these venues, to book venues, get everything in place. So I think there's a lot of clubs and that have having to make the decision now and say, well, okay, yeah, everything could be fine when we come to like November time, but we literally can't afford to take that risk. If it doesn't happen for whatever reason, we're bankrupt. So I think quite sensibly as well, there's a lot of organisers going, look, we're going to just have to say, look, 2020, write it off, we'll come back in 2021, and then we don't risk losing lots of money, which I know a lot of clubs can't really afford that. That's a big hit to take. Belmont Junction says, sorry I'm late, I was cutting in-laws grass. Good evening, Jenny and Zoe and everyone else. Hi. Hi to you. Adams Railway says, George, not sure what happened with the toolings, but I had a letter from the administrator to say that there was no money to pay anyone anything, fully wound down with no mentions of assets. Oh, have I missed something out here? I'm curious. I suspect, is that about DJ Model? Yeah, George, does anyone know what happened to DJ Models and their toolings? As far as I'm aware, right, certain toolings were never owned by DJ Models. So, for example, the 14XX auto tank, the tooling was paid for and actually owned by Hattons, is what I've been told. So that tooling would never have been included in the administration wind-down process of DJ Models. That belongs to Hattons, and theoretically still scope that they could produce it. The O2 and I think the BT Well tank, both of those, again, tooling owned by Kernow Model Centre. As for anything else, the J94 stroke Hunslet Austerity, I believe, was the only tooling which theoretically would have been in their control, except there was a big dispute with the factory, is what I've heard. So the actual Chinese factory has basically gone, well, we haven't been paid, but this tooling's here, yoink, ours now. That's at least covering some of the money that we are out for. And I'm not going to go into the full sorry saga of DJ Models. There's an excellent thread on RM Web if you want to read further. And certainly if you ever get anybody within the industry to talk off the record with you, some of the stories which I've heard are real eye-openers. But certainly, first port of call, read that thread on RM Web. It's actually very enlightening to find out some of what was going on. Right. I'm going to flick all the way to blimmin' heck, you lot of blimmin' heck, it just keeps going. Right, like I said before all the time, if I haven't read out your comment or your question, it's not that I'm ignoring you. The comments do literally just come in like bish bash bosh, bish bash bosh, and I just can't keep up with it. So if you've asked a sensible question, I haven't answered you, then do ask again. And like I always say as well, every week I'm quite happy for everybody to plug their own YouTube channel. The ones, don't just spam the comments with it. But I'm a big believer that the community helps the community. You know, we've got to help each other. I know how difficult it is to build up a following on stuff like YouTube, and it can be very disheartening when you start out. Think, well, why is nobody watching my stuff? So I'm a big believer in bigging up the little people, because there's some great content out there on YouTube. Tim Condrup asks, what is your favourite pannier tank? Mine is the Railway Children one or the London Transport one. I don't have the Railway Children one, but I know what you mean. I would love to have that set. I remember it being around a lot and actually being at a really good price. I think at one point I saw them down to about £99, and the set included 2 coaches, the pannier tank, all in the livery that they were in the film, and the Scenecraft building of Oakwood Station. That's actually a really good price. Sadly, I never managed to get one. It's one of the things that, for the right price at shows, I might be tempted, but doesn't mean don't offer me yours, because you enjoy it yourself. But my favourite is the Stevenson Clark liveried pannier tank that was done as a special for the Backman Collectors Club quite a few years ago, probably about 12-13 years ago maybe now. And I love that model. There's just something about it. It's back when industrial liveried locos were actually few and far between. So that and the W. Peppered coal concentration depot Ginty that they also did, I think possibly the year after, I snapped them up. They're just like something quirky about them. Kelly Hardy said, got a dash, Mad Dog to calm down now, other harm is home from work. It's great to see you. I'm sorry if I've sorry, I've got peanuts stuck in the back of my throat. But it's great to see you, Kelly. Sorry, I haven't noticed any other comments. As I said before, they do come in thick and fast. So hopefully get the dog calmed down, or get the husband calmed down, whichever. Maybe both. Oh. Right. Mark Wilson said, what came first, the Deltic or the baby Deltic? I don't get why the baby has 3 front windows. Completely different design, using a Deltic engine. Now, Deltic is called Deltic because it's named after the engine formation. Delta is the Greek letter which looks like a triangle. And if you ever look inside what a Deltic engine is, you have 3 crankshafts. Imagine a triangle, and at each point there's a rotating crankshaft, like you have in your car, but there's 3 of them. The sides of the triangle, each side, imagine it as a tube, and in that tube is a piston. But so each tube has 2 pistons going like this, opposed. There's no cylinder head whatsoever. They just go like that. So when the explosion happens, both pistons move away from each other, both compress together, and the valves will be set into the cylinder lining wall. Each crankshaft is like a V formation, so you can imagine that builds up, and then so you've got this bank of what would be, I guess would be, I don't know, would that class, each bank class as being 3 cylinders? Yeah, it'd be 3 cylinders, and you can build up bank after bank after bank, so you can make a longer and longer engine. My understanding is that the baby Deltic, which is the class 23, has a smaller engine than the class 55 Deltic. So the engines, I believe, aren't interchangeable, although components on them are. A bit like the engine that's in the Metrovic, the class 28, shares a lot of parts with a, I think it's a a 12-cylinder version, is it, rather than an 8-cylinder version? So some of the parts are interchangeable, but the actual physical block isn't. And that's my understanding.
And this episode of the Open University was brought to you by the Monday Club.
Yes. Jamie Smith, Jen, are you better using a Hornby chip in the Hornby Rocket, or recommend a DCC chip brand for the Hornby Rocket? Now, my personal preference would be Train-O-Matic, and it's the wired decoder. Now, there's a caveat with this. I believe it will fit, but I haven't tried it. And it's the 6-pin wired decoder. They are an incredibly good decoder. The Hornby decoder does seem to suffer with heat issues. And what I've heard from a few people is there being a heat issue which can distort the barrel, and you really don't want that.
But to be honest with you, is the Rocket a locomotive that is designed for long running?
I wouldn't say it is. It's more of a curiosity brought out now and again.
Yeah.
Big hello back to Network Noobs. Hello to you.
I do like the Rocket though. The way it looks and the way it runs, it's wonderful to look at. But I have to admit, I feel like it's not one you would put out and run for hours.
Ham Shackleton says the recommended chip is the Hornby chip. It is designed to take the Hornby 6-pin, but getting it to fit is not easy. I think you basically have to get it in just the right way. New Mills Model Railway says the Railway Children's set is wonderful. Got mine for about 80 quid. That is actually a really good price for that.
You wanted that set, didn't you? You love the Railway Children set.
West Coast Model Railway says the thing that annoys me about the Railway Children train pack is that the coaches are inaccurate. Yeah, they are the old mainline XLMS coaches that essentially it's like the go-to cheap coach from Bachmann. Although I believe that they managed to break the moulds, and let's face it, they had a good innings out of the mould, so I think they've broken through excessive use. But it was the final hurrah. They did the ambulance set, they did the Freising Hall Models camping coach, and they did the Railway Children set, and at the same time they also brought out a set in LMS livery, and some of those were packaged with the Midland compound number 1000.
So can we actually say literally that when they made the Railway Children set, they broke the mould?
Simon Trains MRS says, how did the PayPal from last week go to avoid the super chat? Not a single person donated to it, to be honest with you, but that's not what this is about. That paypal.me link is still there, and actually maybe it's something that you should check on there, Cupboard Monkey, so that we can thank anybody who may have donated to it. When the Cupboard Monkey's finished stuffing face with the Swiss roll.
Let me have a breath. I've just spent the last 20 minutes compiling the videos for today.
Actually,
The point with the PayPal me thing is, it's not asking for money. We never ask you for money. We're going to make this show regardless. If people like it and they want to donate, that's wonderful and it makes us very happy. But never think that we're expecting it or asking for it. That's not what this is about.
No. Right, this is an important question. Michael McCarville, I actually lost 20 viewers in 24 hours. I think that YouTube is cleaning accounts again.
It is.
It definitely is. I was asked about this by a couple of people who said, is this what's going on? And every once in a while, what YouTube does is it clears out the troll accounts.
And the spam accounts and the ones that were made for various purposes.
You know, the ones that basically, they're just like farms. People make loads of fake accounts so they can go and troll other channels and, basically make a fake account and then just post nasty stuff. They're getting cleared out. And also the ones that, like, sub to me and I'll sub to you sort of thing. There's these sort of like scam accounts. So YouTube clears them out. And if they'd been like subscribing to you, it says nothing about you or your content attracting these kind of people. They do it to everybody. So you've lost people. My account will have lost a load of people as well, but they were never going to watch your video anyway. They were like worthless stats, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I wouldn't worry. It happens from time to time, but it won't affect your viewing time. It won't affect the number of views on videos, because these accounts didn't do anything. Think of them as unproductive accounts. They're worthless to you, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah.
Steve R asks, "Hi Jenny, do you have any North American prototypes?" The only thing I've got is I've got a very old, and I'm talking like sort of early 1990s Bachmann GP40. Not even DCC ready, noisiest thing ever. It did actually make an appearance on Great Model Railway Challenge, but in all honesty, that's it.
Was it as noisy as that Airfix one you ran out on Bolton Trinity Road once?
It's probably about the same level of noise.
Oh my goodness.
There are a lot of American outline stuff I just absolutely love. But my golden rule is, if I started buying American outline stuff, I'd buy loads of stuff, I'd spend a lot of money, and it would give me less money to spend on the UK outline. And I'm already spread between doing O gauge and double O, and I've got to be careful. You can end up spreading yourself too thinly.
Yeah, you've got to have limits.
Exactly. So it's like collecting anything. You kind of set yourself parameters to make it affordable.
That's where I've been going wrong.
Right. Right, David Baker says, "I like Laurie's Thunderbirds Are Go themed layout. I did wonder which layout Laurie was exhibiting. I knew he was exhibiting. I didn't know which one." Laurie is an amazingly talented model maker. Really great at thinking outside the box, and it's just magic the way he repurposes things to make like these Thunderbirds themed, steampunk themed things. Really, really great.
Oh my goodness, that steampunk stuff he did.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what he could do with that power bar thing. I want to see a steampunk space locomotive going upside down.
Right, British Railways hashtag logos. "Hi Jenny, I have a bit of foam blocking a flywheel on my newly purchased Class 17. Should I remove it?" I think if it's going to cause additional resistance, I would definitely remove that. Network Noob says, "Hello, just had my tea. Brilliant. I hope you ate all your vegetables."
I need you to, if you want me to check this thing, I need you to put the password in.
Oh, right.
Oh, hang on. Wrong
You
email
can
address.
you can check the PayPal.me link. If you just click on it, it tells you how much people have donated.
Oh,
You don't actually need to be in my account.
that's even better then.
Timbersurf, yeah, that's also correct. Deltic had 2 engines. Baby Deltic had 1. CSX Wrensville, yes, definitely. Originally developed for the Vosper torpedo boat. Yeah, the Vosper Thornycroft. So it's one of the engines that came out of the Second World War, I believe. British Railways hashtag locals. Hi Jenny. Oh, sorry, I've just read that one out. Right. Kelly Ashford, toot toot, chugga chugga, snuffy steam train. We'll go to Carrog and back again. Oh, that's the Llangollen Railway. My version of a Wiggles song. 46233 Sam. Any updates on Rails Terrier? Seen a lot of bad reviews for the ones released not long back, and it's gone very quiet since the first patch got released. I believe that a fault was identified, and what they've done is they have sent this stuff back to the factory for correction. It's not Dapol's fault, it's not Rails' fault, it's basically the factory has not made things according to specification. So rather than release these, they're sorting it out. It's unfortunate, unfortunately it does happen, they're not the only people that this has happened to. Overwhelmingly the people I found have had a good experience. It's just 1 or 2 rogue models, certainly.
Rogue models?
Yeah. Let me just find mine. Mine is perfect, and the vast majority of people who have bought the Rails Dapol Terrier have not had issues with it. But 1 or 2 have slipped through the quality control net, so that is being sorted out. There are also issues with COVID slowing everything down, and it's not just Dapol that this is affecting. We've seen Oxford Rail, Hornby, Bachmann, Accurascale, all of these manufacturers also affected. So I think it's simply a case of, at the moment, we just all have to be a little bit more patient, because this year is a weird year. It has to be said. Right, let's try a different camera angle there. Did anything come through?
I think you got the wrong idea about what that link does.
Okay. Jamie Smith says, thanks Jen for that rocket chip answer. You're absolutely welcome. Heavy Diesel Lock 1974. Hello from Tilburg in the Netherlands. A big hello to you. Or should it be hello? My recollection is hello in Dutch is hallo with the A. Could be wrong on that. Peter Leyland, there was a rift between Gilmore and Waters. Oh right, we're on the Pink Floyd thing. A rift between Gilmore and Waters, but they're good now and have been for many years, but the public and the media like to keep the difference between them ongoing news. Yeah, people say that about me and Sam's Trains, and I actually get on really well with him. I think people like to stir.
There's been a bit of a rift between a fair few of Pink Floyd over the years. I think the pressures of touring for 5 decades kind of puts a strain on people every now and again. It does.
Madden Steam Railway says the baby Deltic was a much smaller locomotive than the Deltic. It had an 8-cylinder 750 brake horsepower engine, compared with the Deltic's 12-cylinder 1050 brake horsepower engine. I knew it was something like that. Yeah, right. I'm going to now. Mark Wilson. I do know why the baby Deltic was not as successful as its big sister. It suffered an awful lot of failures caused by the mechanical auxiliary drives. Causing failures. There may also have been some issue with cooling. Right. Mark Wilson. Jenny, you should ask for some help from your USA best friend forever, Ken Patterson. Oh right, for model. I might send him an email saying. Actually, no. I don't want to go begging and go. Can you send me some models? I might have a talk with him, I think. Garthian, I have 009 and 60mm scale. I think that's enough. I know what you mean. It's like you could end up being into too many different scales and gauges. Interesting. Naive Gauge says, my old dad used to have a backup electric generator for his pig farm that was built using the engine from a torpedo boat. Wow. Network Noobs. Woo! You were on message. Smash that like button. Ben Tullett says, Jenny, have you had issues with the Hornby 08 screeching if ran at higher speeds going cab first? My one doesn't. I've tried all in the drive gears, but it's made little difference. It is resonance on one of the gears, as far as I can tell. Yes, I do have, and it's actually my Class 9, which is the same basic model. It does do that. And as far as I can tell, it's a certain frequency. One of the gears starts to basically cavitate, and that's what's causing it. As to what stops it, I'm not sure. You could try packing the gears with grease instead of oil, like that white lithium-based grease, and that might be enough to stop it from being able to sort of shake. But I don't know. I never got to the bottom of it. But that look, as long as it's run slowly, it's as good as gold. Right, I'm going to flick to the bottom. Wardle Road says 275 watching. Like spike. Yes, that's right. Don't forget to like this video. Share it too. That's really important. Let everybody know that all are welcome. And it's a great place for the community to hang out. A lot of like-minded people talking about all things trains.
All things choo-choo.
Definitely. Ian Turvey says, I'm in the same situation as you, Guardian. I've only got a 5-inch gauge loco kit to build as well. Oh my word, Mark Wilson said, just sent Jenny £10. Thanks for all these lockdown shows.
Thank you so much.
A huge thank you to you, Mark Wilson. You're incredibly generous. Thank you very much for that. And I haven't actually had a thought about what I would put any... I know we sort of have a loose theme. We've done the Garrett, the 1361 pannier. I know, so I think it was Tim's Trains and Combat Bunny with the 1361 pannier. Really, really generous. Garthian very generously money towards getting the Garrett that we then got. And also, I think the last one was the Class 7 Shunter, which is there, just been reviewed. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm trying to think what's coming up. But definitely, I'll figure out something to spend the money on. I always do. But look, thank you very much. That is incredibly generous. So I'm going to have to. I think I know what's wrong with the password. Or have you managed to log in?
I've given up because at this point we need to start looking at the videos.
Right. Yes. Cupboard Monkey needs to start getting together some of your videos that you sent in. But
I've already compiled the ones that I think we've got time for.
So just give me one moment. I'm going to check and see.
Here you go. There's a moment.
Yes. Stop messing about. Right.
For those who are wondering why I'm just on the floor waving my hands here,
She's lazy.
no, I'm trying to stretch out my knee, and the only way we can do it in this small space of the layout is to lie on the floor and put my foot against the wall.
Oh my word. So we've had donation from Mark Wilson. Thank you very much. That is incredibly generous of you. Also had Andrew Finch as well donated through the paypal.me link. So really generous of you as well.
Thank you very much.
Ever so much for that. And it's the reason we set up the paypal.me link. So I know a lot of people like to donate through the super chat. Always really grateful for that. But Google took such a massive cut that what we did was a lot of other people were doing, setting up a PayPal link. So effectively all of what you're giving is getting through rather than a big chunk being taken off by a huge multi-trillion-dollar company.
So I don't think they're into the trillions yet.
But certainly, thank you very much for that. It's incredibly generous of you guys. So I always feel humbled that you guys enjoy the show enough to do that. Thank you very much. Cottesmore, I think we're talking. Ronald Morris says, despite the price, the Bachmann Bubble Car 121 looks good. May get one, being some good reviews. Cottesmore says Dapol's 121 is just as good and cheaper. I would second that as well. Cottesmore is absolutely right. I do have one of the Dapol ones. In fact, I think mine's the 122. Dapol do the 121 and the 122. I'm left feeling with the Bachmann Class 121 release that they came second to a party by a long way. The Dapol one has been out for quite some time, and I think that it's strange that they chose to continue after Dapol, after it was known that Dapol were doing that and knowing the kind of timescales. The Dapol model is available in a lot of different liveries. It is a great model. I have reviewed it, really pleased with it. It's got a lot of great functions. I have heard people say that there are some issues in terms of the way the Bachmann model is hardwired for the lighting. Can't confirm that because I've not reviewed one. The model which does impress me, which I am intrigued by, is the Class 117 that's come through from Bachmann. Of course, that is obviously a new model to the market. It's not going head-to-head currently with anything. I think Lima did a 117 in the dim and distant past, but this is like a completely different league. But the 121, it just feels like an odd choice for Bachmann to have continued pushing on with. They'll have had their reasons. Mike and Sue Pudham Junction says, Jenny, did I see you had a bespoke totem with your station name on last week? If so, can I ask where you got it, please? Sorry asking again. Yeah, actually, let me get the roving cam out. And it's actually the Cupboard Monkey got me this. So, on the roving cam, you see there, it's actually laser cut MDF, I believe. You can have it in a variety of different colours. So you see there, it says Jenny Railways and then Weir Yard across the middle. Where did you get it from?
I will find out and put a link into the chat.
So the Cupboard Monkey is going to put a link into the chat. But they're quite easy to get hold of, and essentially you just type in what you want, pay your money, and then they make it and mail it to you. So we're really pleased with that. It's a great little thing. I've seen a lot of other people with them, and nice idea, well executed,
and not too expensive either.
Yeah, the important thing, not too expensive.
Yeah.
And if they've also got the roving cam on, that's the
that's your little choo-choo.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to focus at that distance, but that is 07009, and that's the one I've had for a while, 07010, and Doctor Who is knocking about as well. In fact,
the Doctor is in.
Yeah, the Doctor is in. whilst we've got the roving camera out, I'll give you a view of some of the bits of Weir Yard that you don't necessarily see with some of the angles. So like those two people there, you don't normally ever see them, but they are there.
There's a certain other person you don't often see either, isn't there?
Is there? Oh yes. No, actually no, they're a bit tragic. I only put them there because I have them. This, incidentally, whilst I've got the roving cam, there's the readout, the DCC Concepts alpha meter, which gives you the voltage on your track and the amps that the layout is currently pulling. Now this is actually really great for fault finding.
You were umming and ahhing so much when we were at DCC Concepts.
I know.
Should I get it? Should I not? Should I get
going DCC, to be honest with you. Now I never look back.
You ummed and ahed for years and said you wouldn't do it.
But these are actually a great diagnostic tool as much as anything else on a layout. And it gives you an idea of what everything's pulling. What surprised me is when you run the Hornby Pullman coaches with the all the lighting in, they pull over an amp for the entire train. And when I say entire train, I think it's about 12 of them. But they, on their own, pull over an amp. So it just goes to show how quickly things can mount up.
And speaking of diagnostics, wasn't it Cottesmore a few weeks ago when you were talking about that chip that blew, said, did it spike on the alpha meter?
Yes,
because that would give you an idea of what happened.
And Cottesmore, actually, it spiked so quickly, the alpha meter didn't even get a chance to respond. It quite literally just went bing and tripped the layout. The number never got time to spike. I also like to share with you, this is going to be part of Friday's video, the Tabernacles. So I think I shared some of this with you last week, but certainly this is an area that we're doing quite well with.
And is that Gene Hunt there with his dog?
No, it isn't. Why do you think it'd be Gene Hunt?
Because it looks a little bit like Gene Hunt.
Does he look like he's kicking in a suspect? Right. Anyway, let's go back to a regular view.
An irregular view. Very irregular.
Right. Flymo Chairman, well, it is my doffing the cap to the modern age. Plus, I never bought a train set for myself, and no cousins or kids. Oh, sorry, you're replying to Ham Shackleton. Shanghai 264359. I've gone bonkers during the lockdown, getting hold of a lot of Swiss locos and rolling stock. Yeah, we saw that on one of your videos. That was really, really good. In fact, the Cupboard Monkey is now just setting up some videos. Oh right, Mark Wilson says, sorry, it's taken me a while to get your comment. The £10 is towards a Class 40. Please get one. I will keep a lookout. I really want the Bachmann Class 40 in rail tops numbered rail blue. So I'm going to keep an eye out. What I might do is I might have a word with some of my friends over at Rails of Sheffield and see what they had in second hand. And see what I can get. And that's one of the things as well that
I hear there was a deal going, wasn't there?
Was there? Yeah, that was last month.
Yes. So they might have had a few things in.
They might have had a few things changed a bit. Thank you very much. That is incredibly generous of you. I want to actually just let me just go to menu activity. I'm just checking that nobody else has sent anything out. I want to thank people. No, nothing else has come in, but Andrew Fitz, Haven Rail says, hope it's working. It definitely is, Haven Rail. Thank you very much. That's incredibly generous of you. Right. Chris Gall 1959 says, a Class 40 in green. They do look good in green with the grey roof. It has to be said. Nick Neumann says, greetings from Shipley Freight Yard. Greetings to you.
The Jenny Railway sign is from JAF Graphics.
JAF Graphics for the Jenny Railways Weir Yard sign. So you've put the link in the...
I haven't put the link in because I couldn't get it. It's jafgraphics.co.uk.
Growler Blackwood Engage there. It says, need to pop off. Night, everyone. Good night to you. I may actually be a little bit behind the times on this, so if you've already gone, I'm really sorry. But right, anyway, Russell Benton says, did you see KR Models might do Leader and some Clayton loco? I've never heard of it. Yeah, I'd never heard of that. Actually, yes. that was the other announcement. I did see that it was diesel prototype. So is it DPH1 or DHP1? Which looks very much like an oversized Class 17. I never knew it existed either. Apparently only existed for a couple of years, wasn't successful. But yes, I did see that announcement. Thank you for reminding me.
And when you're ready, we've got...
says, Cottesmore, sponsor me some floor tiles. Oh my word.
When you're ready, we have the first of the videos.
A few more comments with OS Reverse says, hi Auntie Jeddy, it's Zach. That's my little nephew Zach. And Network Noobs as well. We've got Max in. Stuart Muir, yeah, I knew about the replica of the Baby Delta being built out of a Class 37. They managed to get hold of one of the engines because they were sold on for use as things like standby generators, things like that. So some bits and pieces. Oh, interesting. Hold on a moment. Right. Simon Trains MRS. YouTube were doing surveys last week and gave them a very negative survey. I'm not sure what that's with reference. Oh, right. Cortis Mossa said, if you're after a sign, go speak to Custom Layout Signs on Facebook. I've had 3 of them. There are a few different companies that do them. Right, Naive Gauge, DCC Concepts must have sent out lots of alpha meters for review recently, judging by the number of review videos that have appeared. I actually bought mine.
You didn't get a one for review.
No,
you bought it when we were at the shop.
I'm a happy customer. So actually, George Botterini says, just became a Patreon member. Thanks, Jenny. Thank you very much. And that's a great reminder as well that if you want to support the channel, then you can join us over on Patreon. And it'd be, it just helps us to be able to make the videos that you guys want to see. So a big thank you for that. And we will update the, always do an update of the big thank you page as well on the video. So do look out for your name as well. New Mills Model Rower, Gene Hunt. Oh my god, love Ashes to Ashes, Life on Mars, wonderful. Yeah, we've been re-watching all of those.
Hopefully
recently.
The much talked about 3rd series of Life on Mars with the Ashes to Ashes people in it as well will eventually happen. Personally, I'm hoping that they move it forward a little bit and do it in the early 90s, which would be amazing. But I have worries about how they could possibly continue the show, given that the mystery is all gone.
Right, Kelly Ashford says that I've had a wonderful birthday. Well, I'm really glad. So,
Happy birthday.
38th birthday. 38 today.
My
38th
goodness.
Today. So, did you manage to fit all the candles on the cake?
Last time Jen had a birthday, we didn't have room for all the candles, so we just set fire to the lawn.
Yeah, so everybody's heard of that. Right, anyway. We are now ready. We're going to be showing some videos, so we're ready for this. So
yes, our first one
get
is
ready for this.
Skipsy Trains with a lockdown project he's done of Thank You NHS delivery trains. So
right, so
webcam and browser button. Beep. Now we get the howl around. You get to see how we run this thing.
So this is from Skipsy Trains. So, bearing in mind we can't do the sound, so if there's a lot of talky stuff in this, it doesn't come across. The reason for that is otherwise we just sort of like...
This is a model?
Sort of talking. No, that's the real thing, I think.
Ah.
I'm assuming it's... Yeah, because look, there's rain and stuff. And this is now
the model.
So, faithful representation of Libya. So, bang up to date.
Oh, he's done that well. That is
nicely done.
That is very nice.
So I'm assuming you got custom decals from somewhere, but certainly that really does look the part. Now, as everybody knows, I'm a bit of a fuddy-duddy. I don't do modern image, but I can appreciate great modelling when I see it, and it is nice when people model real up-to-date what they see now stuff. So this does look really good. I'm assuming, is that a Bachmann Class 455 or something like that? For some reason
it's very well done.
Mark Jenkins asks, have you got the Black 5, Jennifer? I don't know, I have to say. It's another one I don't have. Right. Mark Wilson, I've heard that the Class 50 came from the development of DP1. Is this true? That is absolutely true. Yes, it did.
That is a really good way of doing it. I'm very impressed.
This is really struggling on the grade. Unfortunately, the track gets a bit greasy.
Why don't you stick an extra choo-choo on to help?
No, I'll just keep cleaning the track, to be honest with you. So, it's just a slight layer of
Yeah, I'm
grease.
very impressed with that one. Thank you, Skifty Trains. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice
very-
bit of lockdown project work there.
And it's great to see other people's modelling, and not just building model railways, but actually doing rolling stock and stuff. Do we have another one?
We have several.
Excellent.
While I was quiet, I was working on getting a few together. So this one is a collection of circus and carnival models from Human City Junction.
Skipsy Train says the Bachmann 170 Turbo Star base model with resin cabs from James Macon. Right, brilliant. So I'm not well up on the modern image stuff. So
24 model railroad collection. I'm trying to bring it up. If I press the right button in a moment. Right, here we go. Welcome to the
Road
greatest
says,
show on earth.
it's my 25th birthday.
Whoa!
Oh my word! Is that somebody's collection?
Yeah.
So that'd be somebody's like basement. It looks like a shop.
Yeah, Human City Junction has been in touch with an American collector who has provided some video and photos of a collection of circus-themed rolling stock.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So there's some nice stuff here. Circus moves by rail. So this looks to be N-gauge.
I'm not sure, but it's certainly something. Whoa, that is certainly something we have not seen before. Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey.
That's nice.
Oh my goodness, vintage liveries as well. This is not what I was expecting to see today. Oh my goodness. Yeah, N-gauge.
That's nice. There's some nice models.
Circus moves by a rail.
I love this little collection room. That's like the sort of thing you want to do, but with games.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
They do look nice.
I've always been a sucker for the American style of trains because they're just so big. They're enormous things.
That is nice.
That's a good looking livery there.
Looks like is it an F7?
What we got here? Circus train set. They get some interesting stuff, don't they? Why does N-gauge come in these little plastic containers that look really hard wearing and yet the larger stuff doesn't?
I don't know. I just couldn't tell you. There's some nice models there. Ah, 440.
Oh my goodness.
That looks like the Jupiter, the Bachmann Jupiter model. That does.
Yeah. Oh, that little carriage with his name on. A boot. A boot on. I want a boot on wheels to go around the track. That's so cool.
Was it P.T. Barnum that said there's another sucker born every month?
Yes. Yes, there was. He was. He's not the nicest of guys. Let's put it that way. Oh my goodness, that is just so
That is an
good.
amazing collection.
It's in someone's cellar, isn't it?
It's got to be, but that is somebody who is very into their circus-themed stuff. That is, I mean, I love the roller coasters and everything.
Oh my goodness, it's where your collection just basically becomes a work of art in itself.
That looks like it's a model of Disneyland. Yeah, because
That's Main Street.
Yeah, Main Street, USA at Disneyland, and there'll be where's the big mountain?
Oh
there's
my
Disneyland.
Yeah, there's the Cinderella's castle.
Yeah. Wow,
That is so cool.
that is lovely.
Oh my. I've got no words apart from
Yeah,
wow.
I love some of these, the model theme park rides are brilliant.
Yeah.
So much stuff
My
there.
goodness. I bet everyone else is in shock as well. This is not what I was expecting to see today. But I'm very impressed. Oh, it's got a big top and everything. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Melchester Model Railway says, the opening shots of that video reminded me of the Brighton Toy Museum. That is actually one I've never been to. Next time we go to Brighton, we must go and find
that. That does sound like yeah.
Because we've been to Brighton. I do like Brighton, actually.
Brighton's nice,
Not
but
been
yeah,
for a while.
I know what he means. When you see it, it's like, whoa. It does look like a museum. The entire thing, like I say, the collection is a work of art in itself. The display is amazing.
Yeah. I want to go to Brighton now.
It's a bit late, Jen.
It is a bit. But that's really nice. I just love all these models. And it looks like there's so much going on, so much play value, and that's sometimes what is missing from a lot of products, not having the play value, but look at that. That's an amazing collection.
Putting that together is a labour of love. It's gotta be.
Apparently, according to Tony Wright, the Ringling Circus train only ceased last year. Oh.
Wow. That's impressive.
Interesting.
I'm just in awe.
P.T. Barnum was apparently annoyed by the crowds not moving along, so he put up a big sign that read, "This way to the egress," says Tam Shackleton. Jonesy Tynan Weir Transport asks, have you ever been to Whitby? I have been to Whitby, actually.
Many times. I used to live down the road from
I've only been there once, but I spent the night there. Wonderful fish and chips place.
Did you spend the night there on purpose?
Yeah, I was there on business. Wonderful fish and chips. But it's the only time I've ever been in.
I've been there so many times. I used to, before it started becoming very, very commercial with the Goth Fest and all that. We used to
littered with goths.
Yeah, my family and I used to go regularly because since we lived in Durham, it's literally a day trip.
Mm-hmm. It'd be like for you what going to Blackpool is from here.
Yeah. That is impressive, really impressive, and it's got different gauges and everything. So yeah, I can do the terminology.
I wouldn't want to have to dust that room though.
I was thinking the same thing.
Dusting.
I was thinking the same thing. But let's put it this way, if you're putting on that sort of display together, it's a labour of love, you're going to dust.
Yeah. You'd have a hermetically sealed train humidor. That is great. Have we got another video?
That is so impressive. So thank you, Human City Junction, for that. That is really, really impressive.
Big thank you to Human City Junction. British Railways #Loco says, hi Jenny, I have a bit of foam blocking a flywheel on my newly purchased car 17. Should I remove it? I did answer this one before. I would say yes, if it's causing undue friction. It's basically gumming up the works, I would remove it. Haven Rail says, off now, thanks for a great Monday Club, engaging as always, take care and be safe. And thank you, Haven Rail, for your very generous donation.
Thank you so much. Okay, next up we have Lapping Road, private siding servo fitting. He's adding animations to his layout.
Oh, so that's always good.
This should be fun.
Great Model Railway Challenge really loved animations. They had a B in there.
Right, so he's got block signalling with servo controllers. So let's see what he's got here. Right, it's a circuit board. Right. Oh, you've got one of those things.
Oh, those helping hand things are really useful.
Yes, they are.
I suspect that there's sound with this, but as I say to people, bear in mind that we can't use the sound because we can't pre-screen videos, and we want to talk all over them.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got the bench test on the servo programming. So
it's a yard crane. That's what that bit is up there.
It's got a oh, I'm liking this already. Is it going to lower that thing? Maybe not.
But it's little things like that.
It's got a signal gate and everything.
Yeah, that's the gate to the private siding.
That is
right. There we are. I love it.
Oh, he's weathered the gate and everything.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
That is so cool. And it's little things like that that add so much.
Yeah. The gate especially, I'm looking at that and I keep looking to I need to add a gate to the private siding over there. And I'm actually looking at this and thinking, so I salute you I'm going to copy your idea, I think.
Yeah. Adding little animations to your layout, it just adds so much life.
Definitely, yeah. And the crane is really nicely done as well.
And that weathering, that looks real.
Yeah.
I'm sorry guys, but that looks real.
Yeah, that is great. I'm really loving that. That is really good application for the servo motors.
I am thoroughly impressed.
That gate in particular, I'm loving that gate. But that crane moving, is that a kit? Actually, I've been ignoring the comments. Anfield Road layout in the loft says press the like button. Brilliant. Thank you very much on point there.
That is so good.
James Moody says, I use those blue servers to change my points. Much better than clunky solenoid motors.
Thank you, Lapping Road, for that. That is so impressive.
Road,
really impressed.
I salute you, sir, and I'm going to consider pinching your idea for that gate.
Consider it yoinked.
Yes. The rules of yoink. No, actually, that gate is actually a really great idea.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with that.
Right. Route 7 Railway says, hi everyone, a bit late, sorry, don't worry. The whole video goes up and stays up as a permanent video after this, so you can go and catch up with any bit that you missed, and also rewatch any other area as well. So we've got, how many more videos do we have?
Just a couple. Coming up next, I've lost the ability to press the buttons. So next up we have Tim Condrup. He's showing off some locomotives. So what we got here? Different locomotives I got. Oh, that's gone a bit fast.
Bachmann Midland 1F half cab.
Let's see if Jen can recognise them all.
There you are, yeah, see Class Midland 1F.
Now we're getting adverts, so we're going to just remove that.
Oh, the old Hornby footbridge there. I like the level crossings there, customised level crossings. That is a Bachmann Class 3 shunter with the pillbox brake. I have got the pillbox brake that you've got there as well.
That's an interesting way of getting the railway up the slope as well.
Yeah. But the Bachmann Class 3s are great models.
There's that water tower.
Ah, the Class 8. Is that 08011?
It's a Gronk.
I have a feeling that's the Bachmann model of 08011, which at the time was the oldest locomotive still working on British Rail.
It's got the water tower as well.
Says,
nice.
Whoever that layout belongs to, I'm talking about all of them, they look awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. And this is one of the big things as well we said about at the beginning. There's too many trolls online who just belittle other people, basically because the trolls have no skills of their own. They're basically just jealous. And it's so totally wrong that I basically decided to going to call out these trolls. And there's so much great modelling goes on in the community that it's so small-minded and toxic to think it's a great idea to belittle other people's efforts, because
we love every type of layout.
Definitely. I'm looking at the Hornby 00 footbridge there. I love the Hornby 00 footbridge. This is, I'm presuming that's the Bachmann 57XX. Again, another great locomotive.
Jenny's saying there, she's assuming it's a 57XX. It's got 57XX written on the screen.
I wasn't reading that.
And she's looking right at it.
The model.
Some lovely background stuff as well.
The Hornby turntable there as well is actually got some great play value going. I see a tornado there. And thank you very much for that. Really did enjoy that.
And it's recommending 80s and 90s cartoon theme songs. I will watch that later.
Zoe will watch the recommendation.
I'm a big fan of 80s and 90s. I shouldn't have said big fan in that volume, but love the audio. The 80s was such a great time.
Yeah. Right, Kelly Ashford, pristine is my style. However, a weathered Ginty and large prairie tank engine have wormed their way in. They do have a charm to them, definitely. Mark Wilson is the Class 8, the most underrated locomotive. I love a Gronk. And
the Gronks, I love Gronks. They've got a lot of nice design to them. Okay.
Richard Swiderski says, was going to have a moving water crane, but it blew up. A few people have talked about that as well. And
you were quite taken with the water thing,
I still am, actually. I stand by it. If you run it on about 3 volts, they're absolutely fine. Ben Tullett says, when I get mine running, I'll send you a video. And Richard Swiderski says, great layout. Definitely.
They've all been lovely. I've been very impressed.
And Kelly Ashford, I saw the City of Truro as well, which was great.
I think you'll like what's coming up next. Shanghai 264359.
Definitely.
Always a good one. So we have for this one vintage Swiss crocodile locomotive.
Oh, I do like them.
So here we go. Swiss Federal Railways Class CE 6/8 to the power of 11. I'm assuming that's
I
not
don't think it's pronounced like that.
Built in the 20s for freight duties on the Swiss Gotthard Alpine. Oh, this will be in. Whoa! Oh my goodness!
I love crocodile locos.
That is not what I expected it to look like, but whoa, I'm impressed.
You've never seen one like that before?
No.
Amazing looking locos.
It is amazing. Wow!
Do you remember something similar from Railroad Tycoon if you played in Europe?
No, I never played inland Switzerland.
Well, no. It was one of the locomotive options if you played anywhere in Europe.
Oh, I never saw it. Wow.
They are lovely locos.
It's certainly very different looking.
It's got magic to it as well. It's definitely one which I wouldn't mind getting for myself, actually. There are certain locomotives from around the world where you think, you know what, I just really want one of those. It doesn't matter, it doesn't fit with my theory. And the crocodile...
Maybe it got lost and just turned up on Wheelie Yard.
The crocodile locomotives are one of those things where I think, you know what, I just want one.
It's amazing looking.
I mean, like similar to that, there's some of the American ones, like the 282 Mikados, the Hudsons, of the New York Central as well. There are a lot of locomotives from around the world, which I do actually quite like the look of. I think they're really nice.
Oh, I like it. Wonder how big it would be if you sat it next to something off your layout.
Not as big as you think.
It looks pretty big. That middle bit with the pylon on it, that would be... I know what they're called, but I can't remember. I want to say Pendolino, and I know it's wrong.
Ham Shackleton, yeah, you're right. The crocodile is an electric garage. It is very, very much like that. Ben Tullett says, have you seen the Lego version of the crocodile loco? I have actually, yeah, there's some videos of that on
please tell me it's got snapping action.
No.
Oh, that's
Why am I showing what I saw the notification? Oh, sorry, you talk to each other, yeah. Ronald Moritz, are you getting ready to grow? Get me a crocodile loco and make it snappy.
Yeah.
Go on, do your funny noise.
You love this. The way he's disguised as Gauge Master controllers.
Yeah, he knows I love this because that's what I showed. But that there,
it's
that,
such
my
a good
friend,
idea.
Is one of the most innovative and imaginative ways of making a building, but also hiding your control. I like the Budlier as well. That is inspired.
Yeah.
So I always love seeing that controller. I think it's a great idea, and I have to say, Shanghai, I did mention it in an interview with Hattons. You know, is to illustrate the kind of innovative ideas that you can gain from watching other people's videos. And I actually gave that as an example. You know, just hiding your Gauge Master controller by making it into a building. I just thought that was genius.
And that's what the beauty of the virtual model railway exhibition that we're doing. With all of these videos and sharing it with the community. We all get to see something that we go, hey, I could try that. That's what it's about. We get to see something cool, we get a bit of inspiration.
What are people actually seeing on screen at the moment?
They're seeing you. They're not going to see my emails.
Alright, let's get a different view going.
I'm amazed that still works.
What still works?
While I'm looking at my emails, you press the controls. Right, the final video that we've got is Cheshire Lines preview.
Radio.
You're making a concoction, are you? Right.
Okay.
Cheshire Lines. It's a very small channel. I would expect it's a very new channel. This only went up a few days ago. In fact, yesterday. It's a preview of his new layout.
Like I said, I like to show people some of the good channels that are out there.
Yeah.
So we've not pre-watched any of these.
No.
It has to be said.
But if you like what you're about to see, then you can get in on the ground floor of being a subscriber.
Wardle Road says, right, I have to shoot off now. Stay safe and take care all. You take care, Ollie, and it's great to have you in. Thank you very much.
I'm liking his use of texture on the ground there.
I like the back scene.
The back scene is very impressive.
Good.
Yes.
Ooh, static grass.
You're
The
a big fan
foreground.
of it.
Is that the shaper sheet in use there? That works really well, actually. Really does.
That is impressive.
I'm loving the rocks. You've really got it. To,
Oh,
yes. Oh, there's the money shot.
Yes.
I do like the
So good.
the Fowler Road system, but yes, definitely that is very impressive. Does it loop round and come back on the other side of the road, or does it do a complete
I'd expect so.
The ground cover there is amazing. The way you've got those rocks, it reminds me of Derbyshire. I don't know if that's the area you're going for, but certainly... Oh no, then Twin Falls. It's somewhere in Wales, but certainly the terrain, you're really getting that rock with the grass growing through.
Oh, look at the slate mine there.
Yeah.
The textures are so good.
I'm very impressed. I really am. There's the scenery is amazing. I do love that really innovative use of the Fowler Road system. Is that one of the Bachman Baldwins? The ex-War Department Baldwins?
That is an excellent use of the background as well.
Yeah, the back scene as well is epic. And the colours match. Well, that's one of the big pitfalls with back scenes sometimes you can fall into, is that the back scene doesn't match the foreground, but that works really well.
Because the blue tint on the back scene says that it's quite far away, so you've got to...
That looks like PVR.
So you've got to be really careful in the way that you put it together.
Gas Street Heritage Railway says, just got in from work. Any news when this will be released? Stroudley Terrier A1X Class BR lined black early crest, number 32655 DCC sound. We mentioned earlier on there's a delay whilst some identified production issues are corrected. I don't have a date, but as soon as I do get a date on those, I will let you guys know.
I am so impressed with this. Guys, I think this is going to be one to watch.
Definitely. So I'm sure if people want to subscribe to these channels, do mention that you came via here, although obviously I think they're in the chat room. Yeah, this is I am liking this layout, and you can see in the foreground there, it's still work in progress, but it's those rock faces and the back scene for me. I'm really impressed by them, really am.
Yeah, this is a hell of a start.
J. Paul Anderson, totally agree with you. This is a very nice layout, definitely. Shanghai 264359 is thanking J94 and Flying that led to the expansion of the industrial area onto a separate module. Sorry, talking amongst. Right. Nielsen and Co. number 4444. Can you review the Linton and Barnstable Railway 262 tank? I believe that's a Helgen model. Helgen don't tend to send out review samples to YouTubers. It's not one that I would natively buy for myself. But certainly, if Helgen were to decide to send a review sample, I would happily review it.
Even if it's just a loaner.
Yeah, even if it's just a loaner. In fact, I must talk to them about that. The K-Wood's called the Accurascale, is it PFAs there in the background? Those are great wagons, it has to be said. I regard them as actually some of the best wagons on the market.
Is that a fiddle yard, or is that just an area that he hasn't finished yet?
No, it's a fiddle yard.
It's massive.
Look at all the wires. Oh, and FA helix!
Jen is now thoroughly impressed.
This is an amazing layout.
It's just getting better and better.
Now, helixes, I know Sparky 107 has had a lot of trouble getting his helix set up. They are notorious, but certainly that is just magic to watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
I actually wish I'd have incorporated a helix up here, but it's one of those things.
Yeah, but knowing you just spent 3 weeks shouting at it.
that does actually look quite steep, but that's coping really well.
Yeah.
The Scrap Line asks, any link for that channel? Can you post a link to this channel in the...
I will post links to every single one of them.
Right, were you going to put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Right, okay then. So we're going to post links to all of the channels into the chat. So
and I'll post them in the order that we've seen them.
Right here, but yeah, this is Was this one Ian Turvey? If you hit escape, it'll tell people whose channel it is.
This is actually called Cheshire Lines.
The channel's called Cheshire Lines. It's only currently got 5 subscribers.
Yeah, like I said, this is your chance to get in at the start and see something being built.
This is actually really, really impressive.
I am thoroughly impressed.
You can just see on the screen there, Cheshire Lines preview.
Yeah.
So do check them out because this is, in fact, tickle that like button. Go on, Zoe, tickle the like button. So there you are. I have tickled the like button, so do feel free. Oh wait, I think that's obscured by me on the picture. But
yeah, it is, but we've tickled the like button. So I'm going to now pop back to here so I can grab all of the links that we've just been showing.
Radio. I take it people are now seeing the people seeing
you. It's great for the audience. I'm just going to dump them in a big long post. Actually, I can't do that. I can't dump them in.
Naive Gators, it will have 50 subs by the end of the day. Deservedly so, actually. What we've seen there is really, really good. Wiven Model Railway says, evening everyone, bit late tonight.
Right, I'm dumping them in the order that we saw them.
Yeah, Mark Jenkins, 3 rail in 00. Cool. We're coming, actually, I've just noticed the time. Right, I'm going to have to... Yeah, Simon Trains MR says, already subbed to Cheshire Lines a few minutes ago. Awesome layout. So he got 6 subs now. He's definitely one to watch. Zoe is currently putting the links to the videos that you've just seen.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I've just noticed the time actually. We're enjoying those videos so much, I've completely lost track of time. So it's coming to the end of another Monday Club. So we've delved into some of the new models that have been announced. So we've got the Helgium Class 50. We've also got the Dapol DVT. Dapol have also reopened their showroom. Now, that was the other one I forgot to mention. So you can go and buy the factory seconds from there. But that has now reopened as of possibly today or a couple of days' time. In addition, we have, what are the other announcements? KR Models have announced the DHP1, which I never knew about, but it does look interesting. It looks like a Class 17 crossed with a German V200. I think they're also planning the Leader, the weird one, you know, the weird one that burns turf or whatever it is. Actually, no, he went on and did one for the Irish Rails that burns.
There you go, they're all linked in now.
Excellent. But then also, Hornby swooped in after Rails announced the second class open coach with their own second class open coach. So that is kind of supplanted the Rails one. Obviously, they decided they couldn't compete because their price was less than half what theirs was, different method of construction. So
Rails was entirely 3D printed, wasn't it? Whereas Hornby's was going to be the traditional style, wasn't it?
But until next time, we will keep you posted on all the new stuff. We've got new videos coming up. On Wednesday, we've got a review of the Helgium Class 7, the new releases of that. Friday, we've got a full update on progress on Weir Yard. Yes, that's right. I have been doing more work up here, and I'm going to share that with you. So we've got an update video for Friday. And also don't forget to catch up and check out and share and subscribe.
And hit the like button.
Definitely. All of the previous videos, don't forget you can check out my review of the Hornby Stephenson's Rocket. Also, you can check out the interview that I did for the BRM Virtual Model Railway Exhibition. I was part of that. And upcoming, I will be coming to the Hornby channel again. Yes, that's right. For the Hornby Centenary year, I've got a super secret project going on, which I'm going to be doing for them. So do look out for that on the Hornby, I think it's on the Signal Box channel. And there's also a super secret TV project in the offing that may come to fruition, and I will tell you about that as soon as I'm allowed to tell you about that. But until next time, this is me, Jenny K. saying, look, you guys take great care of yourself. Big thank you to all the people who donated through PayPal.me and the Super Chat.
I'm going to tell you about the super secret TV project. She's on the next episode of Crime Watch. She's going to be playing the part of a shelf.
Yes, okay.
That was worth putting in for.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
You're on about thanking everyone for the donations, which is really generous of them.
And also, thank you to everybody who supports me through Patreon. Without you guys, we couldn't be doing this. And also, if you see any troll activity out there, let's call it out. We don't have to tolerate trolls.
Yeah.
The community doesn't need these toxic people. So there's been a spate of trolling activity from a few individuals, but I've seen that they've been plaguing a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of YouTube channels. We need to, as a community, put an end to this. We don't have to tolerate these kind of people.
Yeah, we're all here to enjoy things and build each other up.
We should be building up each other. We should be appreciating other people's work. We should not be making snidey little comments because we think that we have anonymity on the internet. So if you see a troll, call out a troll.
Yeah.
And until next time, this is me, Jenny Coates, saying you take great care of yourself. Take care. Bye for now.
Good night. Good night. Stay safe and have a happy hobby.